The main heroines of Sex and the City seem less like they're living in the real world and more like they've stepped off the pages of a glossy fashion magazine. They always look flawless, barely seem to work, and rarely face any serious consequences. Somehow, they manage to afford Manolo Blahniks on a columnist's salary. But what's really going on beneath that perfect surface? What psychological struggles can we spot in Carrie, Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte? That's what we're breaking down in this video. Fair warning, there are Sex and the City spoilers ahead. If you enjoy our deep dives into the psychology of TV characters, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more people find the channel.
After I paid $70 for my own birthday cake, I was totally out of the party mood. So I decided to go home and kill myself.
Carrie Bradshaw is a successful journalist with a widely read newspaper column. And yet, she's constantly plagued by self-doubt. For all her achievements, her self-esteem is surprisingly low. It shows up in both her relationships and her career. At one point, she even questions whether she deserves to be a successful writer. This insecurity keeps her searching for validation, especially from men. Her dependence on romantic partners and her deep fear of being alone are arguably her biggest psychological issues. Sure, almost all of her relationships are complicated, but she seems unable to exist without them. She's terrified of being single. To feel loved and acknowledged by a partner, she's even willing to give up parts of her identity. That dependency is the root of her emotional instability and dissatisfaction. When there's no man in her life, she feels a void, and she fills it with expensive shoes. Her world revolves around men and Manolos. The main man, of course, is Mr. Big.
Have you got a smoke?
I quit.
Oh, we always used to share a cigarette together.
We did a lot of things that were bad for me together.
Throughout the series, their relationship remains unhealthy and codependent. Carrie is terrified of losing the man of her dreams, and she consistently prioritizes his wants and needs over her own. In the sequel series And Just Like That, Mr. Big dies. But even then, Carrie keeps living for him, and of course, for her shoes. It seems like after all those seasons, Carrie hasn't really changed. She remains emotionally immature and unable to take full ownership of her life, still seeking external validation and support. Carrie was convinced Mr. Big was her soulmate, even though their relationship was filled with more red flags than a parade.
Everyone says as soon as you get a place of your own, someone will propose. I thought it would be to me.
Well, at the very least, the woman owes you a mortgage payment.
How is this even possible?
I don't understand why women are so obsessed about getting married. I mean, married people just want to be single again. If you're single, the world is your smorgasbord.
Even though Carrie is the show's protagonist, a lot of fans argue that without Samantha, Sex and the City would have just been a show about a big city. Audiences loved her for her confidence, sexual freedom, sharp wit, and fierce independence. But even this powerhouse of a character has her own psychological struggles. Some might assume Samantha has issues with sexuality, but that's really just a stereotype. Because female sexuality is often stigmatized, a character like Samantha can feel shocking or unfamiliar. But intimacy itself isn't her problem. The real issue is her reluctance to form deep emotional connections. Why? Beneath that bold exterior, Samantha is terrified of rejection. She's afraid a man might turn her down or find her not attractive enough. Her sexuality becomes a defense mechanism, a shield against emotional pain.
Does anybody want to help me, or should I just go stand out in the street and wait for somebody else not to see me so I can end it?
I'll help you. What street do you want to stand in?
If they get married in less than a month, I'm not going. Oh, careful. That one's from me.
Well, what are you giving them?
The dancing frogs.
That fear keeps her from letting anyone in, because vulnerability feels dangerous. Remember when Samantha was diagnosed with cancer? She tried to push Smith away. Even when she finally shaved her head, she practically begged him to leave her. That's the fear of being seen as weak and being rejected because of it. So she avoids real
This is why I
intimacy
don't date.
altogether.
The men out there are freaks.
Well, that's completely unfair.
I'm sorry, if a man is over 30 and single, there's something wrong with him. It's Darwinian. They're being weeded out from propagating the species.
Okay, what about us?
We're just choosy. I'm getting more shrimp.
Miranda Hobbs is a sharp contrast to her more traditionally feminine friends. She's cynical, pragmatic, emotionally guarded, and not especially into fashion. She's a lawyer. Sometimes it feels like she's the only one of the four who actually has a real job. Miranda is a strong, career-driven woman. But what's underneath all that strength? The most obvious trait with Miranda is her obsession with her career. She's completely absorbed in work and tends to push everything else aside. She climbs every obstacle in her path to recognition and success. So where did that drive come from? Our families shape a lot of who we become. From what we know, Miranda grew up with her mother and two sisters, but they weren't close. Her father is never mentioned, which suggests he wasn't really in the picture. It's possible that Miranda stepped into that role herself, even as a child. That might explain why she developed traits often coded as masculine: emotional restraint, cynicism, and a fierce need for financial independence.
Okay, that's it. I'm out of here. All we talk about anymore is big or balls or small dicks. How does it happen that four such smart women have nothing to talk about but boyfriends? It's like 7th grade with bank accounts. What about us? What we think, we feel, we know. Christ. Does it always have to be about them? Just, give me a call when you're ready to talk about something besides men for a change.
In the case of Miranda Hobbs versus Silly Women Everywhere, the verdict was in. Guilty as charged.
Those very traits helped make Miranda one of the most successful and financially secure characters on the show. She was the first of the four to buy her own apartment in Manhattan. Miranda also has a strong need to control everything in her life, including her emotions. This kind of hyper-control is often rooted in anxiety. It creates an illusion of safety. In Miranda's case, it likely goes back to childhood. She insists on total self-sufficiency and refuses help, even when she's struggling to balance being a mom and a high-powered lawyer. Her friends basically have to force their way in to support her. Miranda tries to rely only on herself, which can make her seem distant or detached. But underneath that is a fear of losing the people she loves. Remember how hard she took it when Carrie moved to Paris? She tried everything to stop her. Later, she admits it was really about her own fear of abandonment. That moment reveals a different side of Miranda, a deeply vulnerable woman who's terrified of being left behind. It also shows how carefully she curates her inner circle. Miranda may not let many people in, but once she does, she protects those relationships fiercely.
Likes the threat of getting caught. What if being with just me isn't enough?
Excuse me, Miss Charlotte. What is happening south of your ankles?
Oh, they're new. Do you like them?
I love them. 500?
Oh, no.
not that much. The guy just kind of gave me a deal. How much? Free.
Why?
And where is he?
Well, he really wanted me to have them. I mean, he just really loves it when people love shoes.
Sweetie, this is New York City. Nobody loves anything that much.
Well, I let him hold my feet, just a little.
The second she said it out loud, she knew what she had to do.
Charlotte is often seen as the boring one compared to her friends. From the beginning, she plays the part of the prim, proper wasp who blushes at sex talk and faints at the sight of her own genitals. She's not especially ambitious about her career and is only interested in serious relationships, specifically the kind that lead to marriage and family. That sets her apart from the others and makes her stand out against the glamorous, fast-paced Manhattan backdrop. Charlotte is a perfectionist in every area of her life. Her outfits are immaculate, her apartment is spotless, her posture is perfect. But when things don't go according to plan, she falls apart. This is textbook good girl syndrome.
You're just having fun with fetishes. I wonder what your fetish is.
Charlotte has a thing for Crabtree and Evelyn Potpourri.
I don't have a fetish.
Oh, we all have a fetish.
It's not a clinical diagnosis, but a recognizable set of traits rooted in perfectionism. The belief that ideal is both real and attainable, and that anything less is unacceptable. Problems arise when someone realizes perfection is actually an abstract and constantly shifting target. This syndrome often comes with a fear of making mistakes, the idea that one small error will lead to total disaster. That's why Charlotte had such a hard time getting through her imperfect first date with her future husband, reacting with extreme emotional distress. But over time, Charlotte learns to let go. Her husband played a big role in that, showing her that he loves the messy, imperfect Charlotte even more than the polished, pristine version. And while we see in And Just Like That she's still a high achiever, she's no longer paralyzed by the fear of failure. So, who's your favorite character? Which of the four do you relate to most? And did you notice any of these psychological patterns in yourself? Let us know in the comments.